Tape www.suividecolosénégal.com. À École au Sénégal, c'est facile, tu n'as qu'à te connecter. Tape École au Sénégal, les leçons sont beaucoup plus détaillées.
Personal identification. So we looked at what it entails on personal identification, information that are needed to identify yourself. Okay, and so now we want to look at some of the examples of personal identification. So when you get to a place like the bank, or in a hospital, or in a school, or in a public place, that is, or in a secret place like in an embassy, they're probably going to ask you for some kind of personal identification in order to go along with your transactions. So what is it that you have to present? Is it just a photo? Is it just a letter? Or what is it that you actually have to present? Is it your birth certificate? What is it that consists of a personal identification? So the first one that we all know, the first one would be an ID card, and an ID card is normally like a country card. It could be like a country's identification card, it's like a country card, like a country ID card, given by the country. Okay, and then the next one will probably be like, like consular card. I'm going to call it a consular card. And then you have like a passport. Okay, you can have even like a school ID card. School ID card. Okay, and then you can even have your medical card. So you have your medical card. You have your driver's license. The driver's license. Okay, and then what else? What else would you consider as examples of personal identifications? Sometimes even ID could be there. In some countries, you can have what they call like a voter's card. Okay, carte de vote, like a voter's card. So these are some of the examples of personal IDs. After that, of course, you can add maybe like a birth certificate. It could be acceptable as well. A birth certificate could be acceptable. And do you think that like company's card would be part of an ID card? Less. A company's card could be somewhat like an ID card if you work for that company and you have to show proof that you are part of the company to use it to swipe in and out. Bien sûr, why not? Pourquoi pas? A work card, a work card, or a pass sometimes could be good for it. So a country ID card is a card that you have for the country, which says that you're a citizen or that you partake, to that country. And oftentimes in those cards you have, most of the information, like I said, name, number, address, and all. And then you have the consular card, which in the consular card actually has like the profession. They'll ask for your profession. It's almost given by the embassy. They'll answer your profession, which is written on it. They give you an expiration date that you have to renew, and your address. That's a consular card. Of course, we know the passport. Passport has your photo, deja, already, because most of these cards need to have your photo, so they know that the person that is on the card is a person that you're looking at directly. So most ID cards should have a photo, so it has to be normally like a photo ID that you present. So someone doesn't steal and say, hey, that's me, whereas you're not who you say you are. And so a passport would have your name, expiration date, have date of birth, where the passport was made, when it was issued, where it was made. So it has kind of like detailed information. Why? Because it's something that you can use to cross borders. So it's something that is very, very important. That's a passport. And you have a school ID. The school ID gives you the name of the person, the school, the address, the class too sometimes, and there may be information of the parents. That's very important for school ID. A medical card is important for insurance, to go to the hospital, to have your medical, to check your medical records, if you're not feeling well, they can use your card to cross-check with your medical records. So, and sometimes in the medical card, or when you're filling out the forms, they might ask you for contact information, And then you have your driver's license. Driver's license is what permits you to drive around. The international driver's license or the local one that has all the information to it, your name, your number, your address, and the category of car that you need to drive or that you learn to drive. Then you have the voter's card, which is a card that has your name, and I think your name and your address to it, and your age and date of birth, the voter's card. And then you have the worker's card. And the work card is just a card that if you're working in companies like CBL or international organizations, you need to have some kind of card that has your name, your profession, your category, your photo, and your signature. That's another important identification that I forgot to tell you, class. Your signature. Your signature is very, very vital. It's very important. Okay, it's very, very important. Your signature, it's unique to you, or what they call the thumbprint. This is a thumb. Okay, a thumb. Okay, this is a thumb. So it could be a thumbprint or a fingerprint. That is why passports use that oftentimes. A thumb. So a thumbprint is unique to everyone, just like the social security number, remember, that I talked about, that has a number that is specific to you. It's the same thing with the thumb. The thumb is unique to everybody. If you use your thumb and you find out your fingerprint, they're easily able to identify who you are. So you have the thumbprint and you have the dental prints. Dental prints are teeth. Example, I don't that. So the dental prints and the thumb prints are very, very important, okay? Because that's what they use oftentimes to identify a body or to identify who that person is if that person passed through. So it's important to have a thumbprint. And so some cards, personal identification cards, will ask for a thumbprint, which is this thumb. That they put ink to it and then you press to it, like fingerprints. Okay, so these are some examples of personal identifications, and we've looked at them, a whole lot of them, what information is inquired, and depending on what type of card that you want to make, what type of ID card that you want to have. So it's just the information on each, they do vary. But the bottom line is you will see the name, you see the last name, you see the phone number, you have the picture, and you have the address and the signature. Those are the most important information or printable information that you will see in every card, okay, in most business cards, okay. So that's our personal identification. I hope that it helped. I hope that you're able not to identify the different. If they ask you for examples of personal identifications, please use this. I'm sure there are more, but use this. Okay, and thank you.
Tape www.suividecolosénégal.com